Gonna do waves. That was waves there. Oh, it's gonna do my apartment, but I'm just gonna. Oops. That's backwards. That's backwards. Oh. Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix and Sly Stone. His jazz fusion phase would soon follow. After their divorce in the early 70s, Betty Davis would release a...
Oh. So fake. Yeah, she's faking it. I'll come back to do that. To one fixed too. That's why I need to be doing for my see if there's any issue with the power, because I think there is. There is way too many cars parked over here. I'm not even supposed to park like this at all.
Former President Trump is planning on returning to his civil fraud trial in New York to watch Michael Cohen testify. Trump is currently in the middle of a $250 million civil fraud case, and his former lawyer is expected to give testimony next week. I'm Brian Shuck.
Okay, oh, hey. Hi.
Through the region overnight. Clearwater police say winds damaged 2 houses on the north end of Clearwater Beach and a Dunedin shopping center. Damage was also reported at a mobile home park in northern Pinellas County and locations in Crystal River and Palm Coast. A teenager is being indicted in the October 2nd fatal stabbing death of a New York City activist that was captured on security cameras. Liz Warner reports
18-year-old Brian Dowling was indicted on murder charges Wednesday after his arrest for the deadly unprovoked stabbing of Ryan Carson October 2nd. The 31-year-old Carson was waiting for a bus in Brooklyn to discover when the brutal attack happened. Dowling was indicted on second-degree murder charges in the assault, which gained national attention after it surfaced in graphic surveillance video. Carson was a Massachusetts native and graduate of Cardinal Spellman High School in Brockton before moving to New York to become a public policy activist. His funeral was held yesterday in Rockland.
the world famous Fat Bear Week is crowning its champion. Mark Mayfield fills us in. Her name is 128 Grazer. She lives in Katmai National Park in Alaska. Fat Bear Week is an online competition set up like March Madness brackets, and it's all based on popular votes. Fans all over the world voted on Katmai's brown bears after they assessed the Slender Bear pictures from June and the Fat Bear pictures from September. Park rangers say Grazer is huge because she earned over 108,000 votes. A fat bear is a healthy bear. That's how they survive winter's hibernation. I'm Mark Mayfield. A Bigfoot sighting is being reported in Colorado. The New York Post says the legendary woodland ape may have been spotted recently by a couple of tourists on a scenic train ride between Durango and Silverton. Shannon Parker says she and her husband were looking for elk in the mountains when they saw what appeared to be Bigfoot walking along the hillside and crouching in the sagebrush. I'm Brian Shuck. And I'm Doug Krisner at Bloomberg World Headquarters in New York. Let's check this hour's top stories and the markets. We begin with Republican Congressman Steve Scalise. He has abandoned his quest to become U.S. House Speaker. More from Bloomberg's Ed Baxter. Republicans are back to square one. We'll have to nominate someone else. Scalise says he will stay on the number 2 job.
This House of Representatives needs a speaker, and we need to open up the House again. But clearly, not everybody is there. And there's still schisms that have to get resolved.
Yes, Scalise says too much business. It needs to be done. This needs to be resolved more quickly. Ed Baxter, Bloomberg Radio. Well, the U.S. has reached an informal understanding with Qatar to hold off on distributing $6 billion in oil revenue to Iran. Now, Iran was allowed to access this money as part of a prisoner exchange with the U.S. Today's news comes as the Biden administration probes Iran's potential involvement in the attack on Israel by Hamas. Earlier today, U.S. National Security Council spokesman John Kirby did not directly answer if the funds were inaccessible to Iranian officials, but he did stress that all $6 billion remains accounted for.
Still sitting in the Qatari bank. All of it. Every dime of it.
That is John Kirby from the National Security Council. China, meantime, making its first public contact with Israel since last week's attack by Hamas. We heard earlier in the day from China's special envoy to the Mideast, Jai Jun. A statement from the foreign ministry said that Jai says China condemns actions that led to the death of civilians.
Approaching a railroad crossing.
That China is willing to work with the international community for peace talks. Earlier, Israel's ambassador to China had called on Beijing to leverage its close relationship with Iran to rein in Hamas. Here has been Abba told us that she expected China to say more on the border.
Really wants to see stability and to be more active politically in trying to bring peace in the region. It has to be more involved and to take a more balanced, much more balanced and much more realistic approach to the situation on the ground.
Is here then Abba, the Israeli ambassador to China. We check markets throughout the day here on Bloomberg. We're seeing weakness in Hong Kong with the Hang Seng down about 1.5%. On the mainland, the CSI 300 off 1%. In Tokyo, the Nikkei down just 0.1%, and in Seoul, the Kospi is off 0.7%. Meantime, in Sydney, the ASX 200 is down 0.3%. U.S. Treasury yields drifting lower after jumping in New York, trading a 10-year at 4.67%. Global news powered by more than 2,700 journalists and analysts. Business Bloomberg. Bloomberg Law.
What does the prosecutor have to prove in order to get a RICO conviction? Here's why the Solicitor General is sometimes referred to as the 10th justice.
Interviews with prominent attorneys and Bloomberg legal experts.
That's Jennifer Kay for Bloomberg Law. Joining me is former federal prosecutor Robert Lynn.
And analysis of important legal issues.
Those are cool shorts. I like those a lot.
And Alito took on Congress, saying Congress has no power to regulate the which party controls the House after next year's election.
We have said that the burden that you're assuming of disentangling race and politics in a situation like this is very, very difficult.
The Chief Justice aptly described the problem in the case before the Supreme Court, the limits of partisan gerrymandering when it intersects with race. It's a case that could help determine which party controls the House after next year's election. A panel of 3 federal judges, after an 8-day trial, concluded that Republican lawmakers had engaged in unconstitutional racial gerrymandering in drawing South Carolina's 1st congressional district. But at oral arguments, the conservative Johnson has expressed skepticism about that panel's decision. Here's Chief Justice John Roberts. While the 3
experts here have been so eager to answer these vast questions and the answers in educating people. In other words, is this gerrymander based on politics, or is it very predictable?
Oh boy, people are so bad at driving here. So you don't know law enforcement. Makes sense. Let's see if I can do. Let's see if I can even